Hi everyone and welcome to another video. And today I have with me the Lenovo P1 G5, which is probably generation 5. I've had the P1 devices for like 3 years now, or 4 years. Well, depends on what month we are talking about, but I have the P1 since the generation 2. Although I touched the generation 1, but the first generation was a little bit on the okay side. It wasn't perfect, but ever since Lenovo moved from the second generation to the third generation to the fourth generation, they were more than okay. Now we have the fifth generation. I really like this device, but we'll talk about it in a few minutes. But let's open it up, shall we? And this year it comes in like this white cloth, which kind of a nice touch, because usually they are coming just in like this brown package. Not very interesting, but look how clean it is. I think those are pretty much the same ports since like the last few generations, but yeah, you know what, let's go with the ports first, right? On the left side we have the charging port, Type C, which are Thunderbolt, of course, generation 4, not 0.2 yet, HDMI, aux, and that's basically it on the left side. On the right side, Kensington lock, USB, another USB, and an SD card reader. This USB is kind of special because I don't know many devices that can do it. This device can use this USB port while the laptop is off. Like, let's say you have the laptop in your bag and you want to charge your cell phone, for example. You can use this USB. Of course, you have to enable it. It's not enabled by default, I think. And you can charge up your phone. You don't need another charger. On the back, we have nothing. And on the back, we have a lot of airspace, a lot of airflow for both fans. So as you can see, this is the ThinkPad P1 Gen 5, carbon fiber plus magnesium. But let's open it up. And we're back. I've charged this device a little bit, to like 50%, maybe a little bit more, because I want to show you all around the device. But the first thing that's really important, at least for me, I don't care about the keyboard, I don't care about the trackpad, touchpad, whatever. You know what's special about this device? The most special about it? Well, let me go into the settings and show you. This device has 165 Hertz. I know that most of us are not gamers. Well, the people who are using the P1 devices, mostly engineers or maybe like application developers, something like that. Well, at least for me, having like more than 60 Hertz display is just a huge thing. And not only that this screen is like 165, it also is Ultra HD 2560 by 1600. It's really amazing. I mean, think about it. Have you ever seen any ThinkPad that has more than 60 Hertz? maybe we saw like 75, maybe 90, maybe 120. But 165, that's a huge thing. And even if you're not a gamer, you'll love this display because it's really color rich. It's really smooth, and all around, I mean, you have to test it yourself. Like, I cannot show you by this camera, at least by my camera. I cannot show you how smooth the screen is. It's just amazing. I'm using a daily external screen with 240 hertz, which I know is pretty high, but anything above 120 or 120, which is pretty common these days on a cell phone device, is really nice on the eyes. Everything just looks much smoother and feels better. It's important for me. I hope you understand how important it is. But let's go through other specs. Before I go through them, this exact device costs around $4,000. Over here, after tax, it's $4,000. It's pretty expensive, and that's because of its graphics card. The graphics card over here is like a beast. Let me show you for a second the screen, the discrete screen. You see, it's NVIDIA RTX A4500. From what I read, this graphics card is like on the level with the 3080 or 3070, which is pretty considerable kind of a discrete graphics card. It has 20 gigs of VRAM. I'll show you it in a minute. It's pretty strong. Let me show you with the Task Manager how much it has, how much dedicated GPU memory it has. So as you can see, it has 16 gigs. It's pretty high. It's above average. The average, well, at least for me, from what I'm seeing, the average is like 6 to 8, maybe 12. This one has 16. It's, again, it's not like common to see any graphics card like this. Of course, later on I'll show you Geekbench points and how the tests are going on with it. But basically, this device has like extreme kind of a graphics card for like a laptop. But let's talk traditional. What I mean traditional, I mean keyboards. This year, the keyboard is just like the last year. The same exact keyboard. So nothing new and nothing special. Sounds good, feels good. Let's test the speakers, shall we? So the sound test is a hip chase by bensound.com, and the author is Benjamin Tissot. Let's start by hearing it, shall we? As you've heard, the speakers are quite nice. It's really above average. It's getting to like the MacBook level with all the bass that it offers. Always the P1 the whole P1 series always really was above average in like the sound and the screen. It's also, I don't think I've said anything about it, but it's also 16 by 10, which you have like more space on the screen. And the SSD. I think the test will show you how good of an SSD this one is. But if my memory is correct, this SSD is pretty good. This is the Western Digital PC SN810 SDC QNRY-1T001001. But let's show the test and go from there, shall we? And we're back with the numbers. Reads are 5391.6 and write speeds are 4184.2 speeds. Those read and write speeds are good. They are faster SSDs, but this one is above average. The write speeds are good. If you see an SSD that's above the 3000 mark, it's good. So is this one. So before we go to the CPU benchmark and the GPU benchmark, I wanted to show you the CPU. So this one is the i7 1200. So this one is the 12th generation Intel CPU i7 12800H. H means that this CPU is for more intensive kind of work, kind of related to the desktop CPUs, not really, but it's like, I would say 30%, 40% less. Those H series CPUs are really good. There are better options if you really want, with the HX and the HQ and the HK, but the H CPU is more than fine. We have over here 32 gigs of RAM with the DDR5, right? I'm pretty sure this is the DDR5, and that's basically it. Just one more little thing before we go to the CPU bench. As we guess, this device needs a lot of juice. So we have over here a charger. This laptop came with the charger, and it's running with the 230 watts. It's really it needs the power, trust me. But okay, let's go and do the test. The first one I'll do without it, but let's go and do the tests. The first one I'll do without a charger, and the second one I'll do with the charger. We'll start now. And we are back with the numbers. Single core score is 1278. Multi-core score is 9135 without a charger. I'll show you the rest of the numbers. And now I'll rerun it with the charger. So while it's doing like the CPU test, you can really hear the fan speed, like all its noise that it's making. I'll get it close so you can hear it. It's okay. I mean, it's not making like a noise that you cannot live with. It's fine. It's not the worst. I've heard worse sounds than this one. And the results are back. Single core use, single core score is 1742. Multi-core is 10,271. So the single core, yeah, it's not really big difference. The multi-core score is a little bit bigger, which means that this device really can be used without a charger if you want like more juice, more power without using a charger. It's good for some people, but I think for the majority, the people who really want like using the device without a charger would not really benefit from it because it's going to use a lot of power while it's not having a charger. And now for the GPU benchmarks. I'll do all of them with the charger because I don't think it makes any sense to run a benchmark for the GPU without a charger. So the first one is going to be CUDA, and I'll be back to you with the numbers. And we are back. So single core score is 1742, multi-core score is 10,271. I'll go with you on the rest of the numbers. But what it means is that this device really is not using a lot of the power charger, which means without a charger it's going to use a lot of energy. Well, at least for now. Maybe at one point Lenovo will fix it. And we're back with the CUDA core score. So the score is 59,695. I'll show you the rest of the numbers. And to the next text, which is OpenCL. And we're back with the OpenCL score, which is 52,490. And to the last GPU test, the Vulkan test. And we're back with the Vulkan score, which is 15,995 points. So in the previous videos, I've compared it to its previous generations, but this time, because I'm a really big fan of the P1 series, I have with me a few laptops over here. Yeah, those are entirely 4 different devices. On top we have the P1 Gen 4. On top we have the P1 Gen 5. Beneath it, if you can see the carbon fiber, we have the X1 Extreme Generation 4. Beneath it, we have the P1 Generation 4. And beneath that, we have the P1 Generation 2. On the other side, wanna take a guess how different it is? Same, on top is, the generation and the laptops. They are really are identical. They have like their problems and they have the issues. And I'll show you them all and talk about the issues that I had over the years. So we'll start with the latest one, which is the P1 Generation 5. Basically, I don't have any experience with it yet, but I can tell you this much. Because this laptop is like any other P device, I can tell you that. If you ever want to take off the cover, some of these screws won't get in back. That is problem. This device has its problems, and they didn't fix it yet. I tried already to open this one up, and it's still the same issue. Now, going to the X1 Extreme Generation 4, the really biggest difference between the P1 and the X1 Extreme are like this carbon fiber on top, which is really is the reason why I got this X1. And because this device has the NVIDIA RTX GeForce series, which is more like a gaming type of devices. Except for that, it really is like the P1 generation 4. They really are the same. This one just has the Quadro. I think this one comes with the RTX A3000. But if you want to see the older version, which is my favorite, here we have the P1 generation 2. I think this is the most reliable device that I had from the P1 series. It even has the best trackpad and the best keyboard, because this one has like the better keyboard. It's the higher keyboard. The P1 generation 4, I had to replace this motherboard twice because it was overheating and because the Type-Cs tend to fail. The X1, I had to replace the motherboard because one of the Type-Cs failed as well. And when I got the device, when doing the diagnostics from Lenovo, it failed on the CPU. I called Lenovo and they said, don't worry, it's just a problem, we'll fix it. And really within like 2 weeks, they fixed the issue and they didn't show any warning regarding the CPU. But with the P1 generation 5, I didn't have the time to call Lenovo yet.